Hello, this is a short video to comment on my blog article, which is about intrinsic motivation. If you are watching this from YouTube, then the link to the article is under the video. So, what is the intrinsic motivation? This is a term coming from psychology, which I found very interesting, but also very useful to learn about. Psychologists distinguish three types of motivation. First one is amotivation, and this is a situation in which we are forced to do something what we don't really want to do, and we don't think it makes sense to do this, but somehow we have no choice. And then the second type of the motivation is the externally induced extrinsic motivation, and this is a situation in which we instrumentalize our actions, so we do A to get B. So we do things not really for the action itself, but for the outcomes we will get later. And that, of course, makes a lot of sense, and that's probably the most common way of acting for humans. And there are many different types of externally induced motivators. So also, what is important is that the more the outcome of the action is aligned with our internal values, the more we are motivated, the more energy we have to do the action. So what is not surprising is that if we do the work for which the outcome is meaningful for us and we find it important, it's much easier, it gives us much more energy than doing something just to avoid problems, for example. So I think it's good to go in that direction, to adjust our actions in such a way so that the outcome are the most useful and meaningful according to our internal values, because that will give us most energy to do this. However, that's not the highest what we can get, because there is also third level of motivation, which I wanted to discuss today. And this is intrinsic motivation. And what does it mean? So intrinsic motivation is when we do some action just for a pleasure of doing it. So when we do something, we would do no matter the outcome. So even if we wouldn't have to, even if we wouldn't get anything in return, any good results, we still would do this. So this is a situation, for example, when you go to the gym, not because you want to get fit, but just because you enjoy exercising by itself. Or you read a book just because you enjoy reading, not because you just want to learn some information. Or you go for a walk just because you like walking, not because you want to arrive somewhere. And there are many things like that. Of course, it's different for everyone. So that's why these things has to be searched by everyone individually, because it's, I think, impossible to predict this theoretically, what would be for you intrinsically motivating. However, I think it's really worth thinking about this. So doing things which we truly enjoy and which are intrinsically motivating for us is a natural tendency of humans. And we all do this as children when we play. And it comes from natural tendency to be curious and just to explore. However, I think when we grow up, we often instrumentalize our actions so much that we forget about things which we truly enjoy, and that's a pity, because there are a lot of benefits of doing things which we enjoy just for the sake of doing them. And I think it's a really good idea to try to incorporate this in our life as much as we can and search for things which we enjoy, not just for the outcomes, because that will give you much more energy than doing things just for a purpose. So it has been shown by psychologists that our energy, persistence and creativity is at its best when we do things which we truly enjoy, for which we are intrinsically motivated. And we would never be able to generate the same level of energy when we do things just for outcome, just for a specific outcome, no matter how important is the outcome. If you don't truly enjoy what you are doing, is never going to be the same. And that's not only the best way of the most effective way of using our energy, but also doing things for which we are intrinsically motivated is also the best way of for learning, because it has been shown that when we do things we truly enjoy, we get skills which are much more versatile, which we can use also for other situation, and this is much more effective and much more broad way of learning than if we do things some narrow specific task just to get some specific objective. Another things which is also important to mention is that it's best always to search for things which has a right difficulty balance for us at the given moment. So it's good to do things which are not too difficult, because it creates anxiety and then no intrinsic motivation, no fun of doing it. And also things should not be too easy, because then we get bored, and then that also doesn't work. So the best way is to do things which we truly enjoy at the difficulty level, which is just in the middle between too hard and too easy. So that's the intrinsic motivation topic. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe for some of you it was helpful, but even if not, it was a lot of fun to do this.